Let's see. All right, so we are recording now. And okay, there. Okay, so we're talking about sales, and it's the basically there's like 5 ways that we are taught that we can market the product in a sales type of way. And so back when I first started learning how to tell people about Mary Kay's business opportunity, this was one of the things that they taught us. And it's just the easiest way to remember, I think, all the different options of selling, because the really cool thing I think about our business is that it's not just one avenue of reaching people, that we do have multiple ways that we can share products and let people try things, communicate, especially with technology now. I mean, some of the ladies that at like the conference last week at Leadership that had been in Mary Kay for 35 years. And they said, you know, we didn't have, that was before email, that was before cell phones, before texting. We had to pick up a landline phone and call people to follow up or to schedule appointments, to drive to their house. They didn't have GPSs, and I can't even imagine what that would have been like, trying to find people's homes without having navigation systems. And getting directions. I guess people gave you directions back then. But anyway, today we have so many more options of ways to reach people. And so that's part of what this is. It's talking about the core of what we do and selling, but also there's so many different ways. So basically there's going to be 5. And so an easy way, I'm just going to write them out here so to make it easy for y'all to follow. But there's 5 avenues, and they all start with on something, to make it easy to remember. So the first one is on the face, and that's obviously, I think, should be pretty much the first one. So if you just put on the face as your first thing. And so when we think of on the face, that's doing our appointments with people. So those are the bookings that we were talking about in our last training last week about scheduling appointments with people. So it can be 2 different things though. You can do a facial. And so in our world, we call a facial when you meet with somebody one-on-one, or if you've got 2 people, I call that a double facial. But if you meet in that setting where it's not like a group of ladies, that's what we call a facial. So it's not the same thing as a facial at a salon or a spa, that's what people go have done now. This is just talking about numbers of people. So a facial is 1 to 2 people that you're meeting with. That typically takes, I usually budget an hour. I met with a customer a little while ago today at 4, and she's been an established customer. She needed some new eyeshadows. I think I was only there 34. She's in a new home though, so she showed me around her house, but maybe I was there 40 minutes. It didn't take too long because that's all we did, because she's already on other products. But a new customer, if it's a one-on-one appointment with just one person, may take about an hour just to kind of run through things. And so that's a facial. The other part of on the face is what we call parties. And so Mary Kay always said a party would be at least 3 or more people. And so that's where it's kind of easy to get, when you're scheduling somebody, to just say, would you like to invite your neighbor or your sister, your mom, just to get 2 more people. Because when you have 3, there's a whole different dynamic of what happens at that appointment, because they're complimenting each other and they're selling it for you when they're all trying it back and forth. And that's part of the actual selling appointment, that at the very end, we ask everybody to go around and say, what do you like the best on yourself? And then look at each other. What do y'all like best on each other? And when their best friend is sitting beside him and says, oh my goodness, your complexion looks amazing, you need to get that. I didn't have to say anything. Her friend sold it for me, to her. And that's what happens almost every time at a party. And that's why parties are ideal, at least 3. You can do obviously big parties, 6 to 10 people if you want to, but even just 3 people sitting around a kitchen table can be a phenomenal experience because of that interaction with each other. But a double facial gives you can still do that with 2 people. So it's just when it's one-on-one, you don't have that opportunity for them to compliment each other. It's just me complimenting what I think looks good. But when you've got a friend that can do it, as women, I just think you can think about if you've gone shopping with a friend or like a sister. I'm thinking about my sister because we go shopping together on occasions, and it might not be something that I would have necessarily thought I was going to go out and buy, but because she starts looking at it, then I start looking at it, and I think, well, maybe I need that too. And then she's like, oh, that actually looks, yeah, that would look good on you. And she starts complimenting, you know what I'm saying, that women, we just kind of do that. And so when you can get people together, they put it all on their face, they try it all first, and then they're complimenting each other, the sales definitely go up. So that's the first one, is on the face. The second one also starts with an on the go, is what it is. So if we just write, you've got number 2, on the go. And this would be, this encompasses a lot of different things, but it is where I think about samples, when samples come in handy. And so I pulled out, I try to always have like the Time-Wise sample packets. They come in both formulas. This one's a combination to oily. In my car, or I have a bag that I kind of sitting right every time that I just take with me pretty much everywhere, that has a few catalogs and some samples. You could have a little car organizer with some little samples in it if you wanted to. I pulled a lipstick too. I keep a bowl of lip samples right over here in the corner of my office, where when I'm filling an order to send out to somebody, I at least this time of the, well, anytime the seasons change, I just pull different types of colors though. Like this is a plum that is a little bit darker, but it's a nice winter color. But a lipstick's a really easy sample to throw into an order. That's like when somebody has reordered something. But on the go is more like if you are out and about and you meet somebody and y'all are talking and you want to give them a sample, or you're at work and somebody wants to try something and you've got a sample that you could send home with them to try, that would be considered on the go. If you're just sending out samples or asking people, hey, could I send you some stuff? Would you give me your feedback on it? And you send a sample out to them. That's another way to use samples for on the go. But in addition to using samples, you also, for on the go, you can book like quick on the go appointments. And so the ones, actually the customer I met with today, I guess that could be considered, I could have done it faster, but we talked for a little while. She's been a customer for a long time, but she did want to try eyeshadows, and that takes a little bit more time to try eye colors. But normally my actual like face-to-face on-the-go appointments that I would consider that are like a 15-minute meet with somebody for just 15 minutes tend to be like lipsticks, where I can show up with, these are the different colors, and I have my lipstick case, and they just, and I have a mirror, and they just try lipstick colors and they pick out what they want. I've even done foundations in like a quick on the go 15-minute appointment, where I have my sample bag of foundations, and I usually have a mirror. Sometimes I don't bring my entire starter kit for a quick on the go appointment. I just find out what they're looking for. And sometimes these are also at maybe over their lunch break at work, or right at the end of the day. We meet real quick when they're finishing up their work day. Things like that. It's when they don't have a whole lot of time, but they do want to try some stuff. And so that's just another way to get with people. And then ultimately, if you can eventually turn that into a facial or party, that would be ideal. But it's just another way to try to get, with people in a fast way to meet their schedule. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wrote down for on the go. Lips and foundation. Those are the two that I feel like I do the most with on the go. We have had success in the past that consultants and myself have had. If you work, like when I worked as a nurse, there was occasions that I would take a Miracle set to work and let somebody take it home. And if I was working with them the next day, they could use it that night and the next morning and bring it back to me and let me know how it worked for them. That would also be another type of on the go, where they're just kind of doing it on the go. If it's somebody, as long as you know and trust some people you work with, you see all the time. So that's really an easy way to, let them take home your demo set and then just bring it back to you the next day. An easy way to still get product on people's faces and let them try stuff. And many times that works. When the new natural line came out, one of my new customers that's on the natural line, that's what we did, because we didn't have samples and she didn't have time to sit down with me to do a facial. So I just said, you know what? I had a set in stock that was new and I thought she would probably buy it. And so I brought her the set and she did. She took it home and used it. And I said, well, you can just it's brand new. You can keep it. You just have that set if you want it all. And she did end up keeping it all. But something I think also happens psychologically when people have the product in their bathroom, they're using it, they see results, and then they're like, yeah, I do want to go ahead and purchase it. But most of the time I'm sending my demos with them, not the actual real product. It was just the natural line. We don't have samples or really good ways to demonstrate it without having the actual product. Okay, so that's on the go. Number 3 is online. So that's one that has come around over the years. So we've got number 3 is online. So we did on the face, on the go, and now we're online. And so that is through our personal website. Program is the main thing. Mary Kay, really, it's an amazing deal that for $60 a year is what it normally costs, but I think they're offering it. I went to renew mine and it said it was free. I didn't have to pay for it in December. I don't really know. They did say at one point at one of our, I don't remember, because then I was like, oh, I guess I just forgot that they offered that. But mine renews in December every year. But normally it's $60 a year to have a personal website. For new consultants, it's always $30. You get it half price your first year to try it out. But so basically, when you have that set up, like mine is, it's your name, it's marykay.com/ and it's usually like your initials or your name or something. You can put your picture on it, so when people log in, they see you. But it gives people the platform to be able to shop online, order directly from you. We were talking a little bit earlier before I started recording that you can actually send a link. If somebody's looking for a particular product, you can go to your website, pull up that product, send a link right there to them where they can go straight to your website and see that product and even buy it. And so for $60 a year, and Mary Kay updates it when any new products come out or they go away, they change it, they do all that for us. So really that's a deal to have your website taken care of for you and have that shopping experience. E-commerce, I think is what it's called, where people can shop online, that we have that taken care of for us by Mary Kay. But you can edit it to put stuff about you. You can set up hours of when you work your business or when you contact people. All of that can be customized so that it's your, business and you can communicate with people how you want it to be. And then that also is something you can connect. We have an opportunity to have a Facebook business page, and a business page. Obviously you can have your personal Instagram and your personal Facebook. I don't really do Twitter, but I guess there's ways to do stuff on there too, but I don't really know much about it. Instagram and Facebook seem to be the 2 ways online that people promote Mary Kay the most. But when you have a business, so you can have a business Mary Kay page on Facebook, and that's where you would ask people to like it. And then you can share stuff from your website on that page. You can do videos just like I'm doing right here. You can go live and share stuff about products, but it's only going to go out to the people who've liked your page. You can run promotions even. If you're running a special, you want to put it on there, you can do that, all of that on your business page. Your personal page, they want that to be just, if you're sharing stuff about Mary Kay on your personal page, they want it to be just strictly, I'm forgetting the words that they use, where it's just, it's more of like factual information is not like they were trying to sell something. It's more like if I held up, or people post pictures using the charcoal mask and it's just the mask and, oh, I'm so glad to be cleaning out my pores today. And that's all you say. Because then you're not asking, contact me today to buy it. That makes it a commercial where you're asking someone to buy it. They call it indirect selling, where I could post a picture with the charcoal mask. And actually I did this, I didn't even realize I was doing it, but I shared a picture of my whatever it was called, the lip lacquer that stays on forever. One of the football games we went to, I put it on at like 10 that morning, and by like 4:00, it was like still perfect. And I couldn't believe it. I sold like 3 of those just by sharing a picture that I've had this on the whole game and we're headed home and it's still on. And I could post that on my personal page as long as I didn't say, and I can't remember what I wrote now, so I may have put it on my business page. I do both. I manage both, but I do more Mary Kay on my business page. And I, occasionally will share stuff on my personal page. But on your personal, that's the biggest thing, is that you're not asking to buy. Contact me to get it. People know they can contact you to get it if they know you're in Mary Kay. So you don't really have to write that on your personal page. You're not asking for orders, all that kind of thing on your personal page. You can do all of that on your business page. So anyways, hopefully that if you have questions off of this, this offline, you can definitely talk with me about that. And the same for Instagram. If your Instagram is public, where everybody can see it, then you would want your posts to be about just sharing what you love about the products, you love about Mary Kay, that you're not necessarily asking people to buy, but you can have a private Instagram that can be for your business to get followers that way, and that way you can promote whatever you want to. I feel like Facebook is more what people use. I don't really see a whole lot on Instagram as much, but I don't know as much about it either. So I'm not the best at either one of them, but that's just sort of my highlights for online. But the website mainly is something that, nowadays, if you want to really grow your customer base, I think it is important to have a website for people to be able to reach you that way. And in addition, when you are a STAR consultant, you actually, so if somebody goes to marykay.com and they are looking for a Mary Kay consultant in their town, let's say they moved here and they need to reach somebody, so they just go online and look. When you're a STAR consultant, you rank in the higher, it's sort of like Mary Kay's own search engine optimization of being able to find people on Google. If you hear people ever talk about that, Mary Kay has their own like search engine thing for us. And so when you're a STAR, you are ranked at the top where somebody in your zip code, on your website, you can list up to 5 zip codes that you want to be recognized in. And when you're a STAR consultant, you are listed up higher than if you're not a STAR. It doesn't mean if you're not a STAR, you won't get referrals, but you definitely get more. I got 2 in the last 5 days. I've had 2 new people purchase on my website. And I've finished my STAR for this next quarter that we're in right now. And so I think that's wise that I already am a STAR for the current quarter that ends in March. And so you just rank higher. And the biggest thing is if people are looking online for a consultant, Mary Kay wants to send them to somebody that they know is active and selling and can get it to the customer. So that's part of why, they do that versus, and it's no right or wrong. If you only want to order every 6 months, that's okay, but you're not going to get those referrals because you may not have the product, to help the customer. So that's online and ways that you can share online. If y'all have questions, just stop me anytime. Number 4 is another on paper. And so this is kind of obvious. I mean, this is how we originally, I guess, used to communicate the most with people, but that's through our books. Our lookbooks every quarter are mailed out to our customers, or you can enroll them. They don't just it doesn't happen automatically. We just finished the preferred customer program enrollment. It ended last week, I think it was the 17th. And so if you missed that enrollment, then the next one will come around. This is for the spring catalog. The next one will come around for the summer catalog, and it always closes out a month early. So it was January 17th. So this is the winter book that went out in December. So March, the spring book, the customers will receive it on March 17th. It's usually a month to almost exactly that they mail it. And so the customers get it in the mail. It has a sample in it. This is just one of my books, but it also, the ones mailed from Mary Kay, has a message typed on it back here and has your name, that it looks like it came, directly from you. Has your website, your phone number, whatever, how to reach you. And then it does always have a sample inside of it. And the first time you do it, it does take follow-up when people get those in the mail, but a lot of times when they become your regular established customer, it's almost like you can tell when they're getting their books because you start getting orders as you develop this kind of pattern with your customers. But you get one in the mail too, so that I got mine in the mail, so now my customers should be getting theirs. And so I just usually send an email, a text, something, just checking in. I've had the last 6 months or so, I've had an assistant helping me with some of those calls, just checking in to see that you got your book. But that's because I mailed out 300 books. So I had somebody helping me over the last little bit to send them out. But you can do 2 books, 3 books. You can do 10. You can do 100. There's no minimum or maximum. It's really up to you. It's 70 cents a book to mail them out. So to buy the books, it's $3.50 for 10 books for yourself, and then to write a note, to put postage, it's $1.25 when I've mailed a book to somebody. And I usually want to put it in something, because if you just mail this, it's going to get all torn up, because when Mary Kay mails it, they have a seal thing all around it so the book doesn't get messed up. So you almost have to put an envelope. It's just a lot more of a headache to do it yourself. And so I encourage all of you, if you have not done preferred customer program in the past, to definitely make that a part of what you do. Because again, even if it's just your family that's buying from you, let them get a book in the mail, because when you get together with your family, you may not always be thinking about Mary Kay. And then when they get the book, they will go through, and they'll find other things they want to typically than just their regular stuff when they see the new things coming out. The other thing about our book is that it's very instructional. It doesn't read like a shopping catalog. It reads like an instructional. If you've not paid attention to that, sit down and go through it sometime, because it teaches you a lot of stuff. And so your customers, when they start realizing that, it tells things about the products and how they're made. Or let's see, one of them talked about had some color application and how to do certain things. So it can teach. A lot of times if I have somebody trying to figure out color, here it is, Get All Eyes on You, and it's got all these different ways to do eyeshadows here in the catalog. So you don't have to feel like you have to know everything. You can just say, let's look at this book. If you want to try some eye colors, do any of these look like things you want to try? And this gives some tips on skin tone even, and what colors would look good, or what based on this is skin tone and this is eye colors. So that's the other nice thing. And we have makeup artists, that work for Mary Kay that put all this stuff together. And then there's even more looks put together. So let it be your assistant as well, so you don't feel like you have to know everything, because there's a lot of tools here that you can use. So you can then buy, so that's having them mailed to people, but then you can buy them in packs of 10. It's $3, I think, and 50 cents. And just, again, I keep those in a bag with me all the time as well. The key, though, is that you keep them where they don't get all folded up and look ragged when you give it to, if you're going to give it to somebody. I have, when I'm carrying a big purse, I have one with me that's kind of my book, that is my reference, and it does get raggedy. But the ones that I want to hand out, I do want to make sure they're kept where they still look nice if I'm going to give it to somebody. And you want to make sure your information is here. So if you order the business kits that come with like business cards, they come with a stamp like this. And so I keep one just here on my desk, but then I stamp all my books when they come in, so that when you give it out, somebody knows how to reach you. So having these with you, if you work somewhere in an office where you can have like one at your desk just stuck in your drawer. So if somebody asks you about Mary Kay, you're ready that you could show them. My car, of course, I kind of live in my car, so having a couple with me in my car, you just never know, where it's going to come up. But the other thing about handing out samples or books is that you always want to make sure that you aren't just handing it out and not getting any kind of like way to follow up with people. One national talked about, she called it like you're just spreading birdseed outside and you have no way to know what's going to happen. Because they may only be $3.50 for 10, but it's still $3.50 that you paid for. And the samples, when you invest in samples too, and you give out books, if you don't have, so I'm just saying, like, if you met someone that you don't have their phone number, you don't know how to reach them, and you all start talking about Mary Kay, and you're going to give them some things to try, that's when you're giving them something. So you want to make sure you get from them, how can I reach you to find out what you like, what you want to try, what you thought about the sample, and if it's an email, phone number, whatever. But just making sure, what I typically do is, let me send you a quick text. You'll have my number if you have questions about the sample, or, I'll have your number too. We can keep in touch. And so I just grab my phone and and they give me their number, and I send a quick text right then. That's if it's somebody I don't know, so, and that's just, again, depends on how that comes up for you. But if you're out and about and you meet people, because we all have stuff like that happens when we meet people wherever we are, that you might have a book that you give out. So that's on paper with our catalogs. And there's other types of, there's our beauty book. That's a smaller book. That one's great for parties, and it's got lots of good information in it too. I mean, there's a few other like books that you can get, but the lookbook is sort of the one that has everything in it. And I need to backtrack for just a second. When I did the online, our catalogs, actually, we have e-catalogs that you can send as a text to people, and it's an actual catalog on their phone that they can, or like on an iPad, they can flip through it like a book on a Kindle, or like a magazine, if you've ever gotten a magazine on an iPad to look at. Our lookbooks can be sent that way, and if you can find them on your website. They're called e-catalogs. You can find them on Mary Kay In Touch as well. But it's just, there's a way, and it has a little share thing where you can actually send that to people. So if you don't have books with you, that's an easy way to say, well, I can send you a an e-catalog. You can look at it. It makes us look very environmentally friendly, where we're not wasting paper. That's one way that you can show it to people without using an actual paper book. And so I should have referenced that when we were talking about the online stuff. But that's another easy way that you can get information to people. Okay, so we've done on the face, on the go, online, on paper, and then the last one is what we call on with the show. It's a little bit longer and sometimes is confusing to people, but on with the show is number 5. And so on with the show is thinking bigger about your appointment. So an on with the show is more like maybe an open house at the holiday season. If you wanted to do a holiday open house and you're inviting a lot more people, expecting, hopefully 10, 20, 30 people to come, it could be a customer appreciation type of event, where again, you're not doing necessarily facials with people, but you are having a display of products. They can come through and try some things, more like a show and tell. Maybe you're sitting around in the living room and you're going to pass stuff around for people to look at, but they're not actually like going through the product on their face. A new consultant debut, when we do these, where we've got a large group and we're showing where a consultant may have inventory that we're showing and we're passing things around. That's another way that we do that. That's considered a larger type of appointment with more people. But anything like that, I mean, you can do like spa events that are large like that, where you're just passing around some lotions and some fragrances. But it's just a way to get a bigger group together at one time, more sitting in like the living room setting. Maybe a conference room or a break room with a bunch of employees. Sometimes I've done those at Christmas time, and I've shown Christmas things when they have a lunch break or right at the end of the work day. And it's just passing it around to large groups of people is more of what on with the show is. So that's just something that, for me, those are like more spread out throughout the year, but it still is a great way to show things. I was just looking at holidays, customer appreciation, new consultant debuts, but also new products. So when the catalogs, there are some consultants that once a quarter, they will host an event like this to feature all the new products and just invite large amounts of people to come to their home, or an office, that wherever it is, most of the time it's their house. But for their customers, that once a quarter, they can actually be invited to come see all the new stuff, because every quarter we have new stuff that comes out. So that's another way that you could have an on with the show type of event, once a quarter when the new stuff comes out, and then the holiday season too. So those are just kind of spread out maybe throughout the year, but ways to get in front of lots of people at one time. So that's really the 5 key ways. And the idea is that you're doing a little bit of all of those. And when you do a little bit of all of them, it all accumulates into, lots of sales. Mary Kay said that nothing happens until someone sells something. That's what she started when she started the company. That's what she said. And she was out there selling, then doing all these things herself, and then growing and finding consultants and growing the company. And I love that our company, I don't know if you guys realize, we're a part of the Direct Sales Association. And to be a part of that means that we are focused on product sales. We are not just about signing people up we obviously, it's great to have new consultants in our team, and we want them sharing products with people. We want people to know about the products and to be selling the products. And so it's definitely the foundation of what we do. And so those are the main 5 ways to do it. And hopefully you made the connection that really, number 2, 3, and 4, with my light on, it's hard to even see if that's showing. But so on the face is going to be most of the time your first appointments with people where they are trying it possibly the first time. But when you do the on the go, the online, and the on paper, so number 2, 3, and 4 are really, the ways that you keep your reorder business going. Because the idea, I was just telling somebody this, I think yesterday, that I was trying to explain how my business works to somebody that's in my networking group, and why I will drive to, I guess I was talking about going out to, I don't know if it was Lawrenceburg, or had been in Spring Hill, or, just the different areas that are all around Nashville, gone up to Cookeville. But I'll go there and do a party, do a facial. And then the idea is that they fall in love with some stuff. And then as they need more, they just order it and I mail it to them after that. It's not that I'm driving to those places every single 3 months that they run out of their cleanser or whatever, I just mail it then. But the face-to-face time is usually when you're going to be with them in the beginning. But then number 2, the 2, 3, and 4 on the go, because even on the go, maybe to keep your customers on stuff, get them on new things, you're adding samples to it. And then of course, online and on paper is really how my main reorder business runs, that people know how to order on my website, or they follow me on Facebook and they see stuff there. And then they all get the books in the mail and have that opportunity as well to get their products ordered through that. And so really having a strong reorder business makes everything a whole lot easier, because when you've got people consistently reordering their stuff, it just makes your business even stronger. Okay, so I'm about to turn off the recording. Are there any questions before I stop the recording? No? Okay. I'm going to turn this off, and if you've watched the recording, reach out if you have questions afterwards. But I'm going to turn that off. Oh, nope, wrong one. Hold on. Where is it? Stop recording.